Hey y'all, this is AL Think Madame and happy Friday. I hope that y'all have been having a wonderful week and that you are starting off your weekend on the right foot. Y'all be safe out there and make sure that you stay hydrated. And if you don't have to be out, don't be out, especially in these high temperatures, like it's ridiculous everywhere. Whew, I feel for the people who live in Texas, Alabama, and definitely Arizona. So yeah, y'all, let's get this Queen Sugar recap off and popping. Okay, y'all. First of all, I was gonna do it yesterday, and it's crazy because the time that I was gonna do it before I got interrupted, it was gonna go up before like people who actually get paid to do theirs and all that. I'm to my hours. I was like, dang it. That's crazy because normally I'm kind of behind or a lot behind. Y'all know how I get for me. But anyway, like I was saying, back to the review. Let's get it started. So, y'all, Charlie is deep in her feelings, of course, because of what happened to the meal. And so she has driven or been escorted in some form of fashion, I guess, with the driver to New Orleans, Louisiana, where she is at a bar held up drinking her sorrows away. So at some point within that day, she decides to tell the bartender that she is running for office and all this other stuff. And when I saw him, I was like, oh, he finna take this opportunity to take some pictures of her, sell them to the highest bidder, and, make a coin off of all this stuff going on with her. But he actually gave her some, advice, and he was letting her know that, the crowd starts pouring in at a certain time, and as the day progresses or whatever, and if she's really running for office, that wouldn't be a good look for her to go out and they see her like that. And at this point, she really don't even care. And as she starts to get more and more, as they call it, slizzard, um, she done put on her shades. Like, she is told all the way down, y'all. I'm just like, girl, no. So, yeah, y'all. Micah and his girlfriend, Kiki, they met up at his house. And I think they're skipping school. And anyway, at one point in time, they were talking, and so she was saying that, she thinks she's ready for, to have sex. And they were making out, and she wanted to know where his mama was and all that good stuff. And he was like, well, she normally leaves at a certain time, and she's busy throughout the day or whatever with certain things. And so that's when she wanted to make her move and go ahead and make out with him. And they were discussing plans. So she's making it plain that she's very much so ready to make that big step and move to the next level and consummate their relationship, I guess, if you want to put it like that. Y'all, Vi is at her diner, and, she's that boy who was paid and basically forced into trashing her place. He's there and he's working, right? He brought this pie that his mama made, and he continuously thanks her for allowing him to work off the debt that he owes because of what he did, despite, the circumstances. Y'all, I just wish she would stop. Y'all, it's like I get that you mad, but at the same time, in all honesty, I feel like outside of the fact that she's furious that he tore up her place, all this stuff with Jimmy Dale is weighing on her, and of course her relationship. So speaking of her relationship, Hollywood is talking to her later on, and she's come to the realization that when he beat her, well, not beat her, when Hollywood beat up Jimmy Dale, it triggered something in her, and that's the reason why she has been turned off sexually. Apparently, when Jimmy Dale first started beating on her, he didn't initially beat her. He went and beat somebody else up because they were trying her. They were just talking to her or whatever. And when Hollywood did what he did, even though she knows that he was defending her honor, and, he knows the history as far as he's concerned, it just triggered something in her from the past and what happened with Jimmy Dale. And I just thought that was a very powerful moment, and a lot of people don't understand the connections to things, and I'm glad that she's come to the realization of that connection, because she does need to hone in on that and gather herself and, be able to say, okay, I know the difference between this and this. But in a sense, I'm pretty sure she kind of feels like it can turn into, you're defending me one day, and then the next you get angry enough and then you turn it all on me. I really hope Hollywood never does that, because I would never be able to see him the same, because the two of them, it's just like, when I've seen them over the past few years since this show has been on, I've just looked at them like, y'all are goals. And I know that no relationship is perfect, but I just cannot, like, the way he loves her, it's just, oh my gosh, y'all, I just can't. So anyway, Ralph Angel had to take down his poster, his banner rather, that states what the name of his program is, because they're still reviewing it, and he had to let those people go, and he's really in his feelings about it. Y'all, Darla went to meet up with the guy she'd been dating, and he does this band. He has this band playing in the garage. And so she popped up on him, and she brought a bag of beignets, for him and them. And so he was like, yeah, I need to talk to you. Y'all, come to find out, he read the book, and, she was thinking that he was not here for her because of her past, which makes no sense, because he has a past too, the similar past or whatever. And his problem with the book is that book has been, it's just so big, and everybody knows everybody's individual history. And even though she's up under something else, a lot of the people, another name, a little nickname or whatever she wanted to just name her as a character in the book, everybody in that town knows who she is. So outside of that, it's just so much that goes along with that. And like we already mentioned before, the other week, her coworkers knew that it was her that they were talking about in that book. And I just wanted to reach through that screen and snatch every single last one of them. But anyway, he was just concerned that because of all the publicity the book is getting, is just is a definite spotlight. That's what I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. Definitely a spotlight that's on her and her family, extended family, or whatever you want to call it, even though Ralph Angel isn't with her anymore. All that good stuff. Y'all, it's just too much. It is really too much. And because she is a recovering addict, he's worried about her sobriety and also his. And so she's like, I'm fine. He was like, okay, well, when was the last time you talked to your sponsor? And she was like a couple of weeks. And so he was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. I cannot jeopardize my sobriety. So I need to just, take a break for a while. So, she's just looking crazy, and it's not good. And I've already mentioned before that I feel as though she is going to have a terrible situation pop off where she's going to relapse, unless a miracle happens, because there's so many triggers. There have been other moments that have happened, such as she just realized that her son's best friend is her ex-fiance's girlfriend, her child. She didn't even realize that they were a thing. That's the crazy thing. She didn't even realize that him and that woman are a thing, or that girl who is his best friend is her child. Like, it's just a lot. Y'all, I'm sorry for all the tongue twisting things. It's just the way I'm trying to say it. So anyway, y'all, it's just too much. Like, she just kind of seems alone, and she just was like, well, I should have known. She did confront Ralph Angel about it and was like, well, I should have known. I didn't know. I should have known this. And, she didn't even realize what was going on until her child was on the phone talking to her, telling her good night. And, he was giving her the details of a day when she was up at the school or somewhere, and she made cupcakes and she did all these things for the kids, and he was like, you should meet her, she's really nice, and all this other stuff. And y'all, he was just like, you'll like her. Y'all, she's in her feelings about that. And it's just like nothing's really going her way. It's like, yeah, she went and she got sober, but will she be able to stay sober? That's usually the main thing you really have to worry about. So yeah, so I see her not being able to make it. And I'll get back to that a little bit later on, y'all. So anyway, Charlie is still at this place getting drunk. And it gets to a point where she called Micah. And Micah basically kind of sort of lied. But anyway, he was at the house with Kiki. And she was trying to make sure he made it to school on time and all this other stuff. And she was like, well, I need you to meet me at the campaign office after you get out of school and all this other stuff. Cool, whatever. Y'all, she is drunk. To the point of where he left, and I guess he went to her office around the time he was supposed to go, as if he had gone to school, and she wasn't there. He waited, she wasn't there, so he ended up going to his Aunt Vi's restaurant and asked people had they seen her. Prosper was there. Genevieve, the woman who Prosper's been dealing with, who's an old friend who they seem to be new, a thing. And let me just say that because I don't have my confirmation concrete, so to speak. But anyway, everybody was like, no, we've been looking for her. Normally she's the first one at the campaign office. We haven't seen her, whatever. So it's crazy because Prosper was like, well, have you tried to track her on that thing you got on your phone or something? And he was like, no, I'm about to try that now. So he did. Come to find out, like I said earlier, y'all, she's in New Orleans. And then they like, what she doing way up there? What she doing way down there? Wherever they said, up or down, I don't remember. And it gets to a point where he's worried. Everybody's worried. So he ended up telling Nova where she was. So Nova ended up going to see, where she was. Ended up paying her tab, trying to take her home. And at first she was being resistant and all that. And then it got to a point where she was like, I know what you're feeling. I understand how you feel about me, but you can't be out here like this. I got to get you home. So she ended up getting her home, put her in the bed. And when she walked out of the room, when she was trying to walk out of the room, she asked Nova, why did she do that to her? And she just was like, I wasn't trying to hurt you. I didn't realize I hurt you, and I'm sorry. And she kills me with her weeping. Like, she be weeping. She weeps. She like wails. And I be here for it. I ain't gonna lie. Charlie. And I was like, oh gosh, now she cried again. So she's really in her feelings. Like nothing's going right. Her man ain't here for her right now because of the stuff he found out. They might not be together again after that. The mill burned down, and everybody knows about what happened in her personal life because of Nova's book. But anyway, the next day she woke up and Nova had this tray of tea, coffee, all this other stuff on the counter waiting for her. Just in case she wanted tea, she had a pot of water. So that's what she opted for. And she had a newspaper folded up on there as well. And it was an article that Nova wrote. And it was basically saying that Charlie is her hero and that she was apologizing for what she put out there and that it was a mistake and all this other stuff. But she did apologize. And so we'll see next time, I guess, how Charlie takes that. And if she's really gonna be here for that. But yeah, so Vi had a conversation with Hollywood about how she feels and basically her triggers, and he didn't realize how big of a deal it was until he thought it was a big deal, but he didn't realize how big of a deal it was until he was playing cards with some of his buddies, and they said, yeah, we heard that you beat Jimmy Dale down. And it's just the way that it was just the context in which they were saying it, and it was just the whole situation. You could just feel the uncomfort through the screen. I was just like, oh my gosh, y'all, it was a lot. It was really a lot, and he, said that he actually came back to her after that situation happened and told her that he noticed that there are so many support groups for women where women can discuss things, but there are literally none in St. Joe or anywhere nearby. So I think that that's going to be his opening to kind of creating a situation like that where men have a place where they can discuss these things and know what they need to do in order to actually provide the right type of protection, because it's now at a point where he's like, I could have gone about this in a different way, but I didn't. But in the moment, that's just what he felt like he needed to do. And hopefully their relationship will be better for this situation. Hopefully their relationship will be better from this, and it can only get better from here. I'm really hoping, because I really like them as a couple. I think that's about all that happened. So anyway, I hope that y'all liked this review. Y'all let me know what you think about the showdown in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all doing this weekend, what y'all got going on. There are quite a few shows. Lord, there's so many shows. I don't know if it's some I want to review, but I'm like, Lord, I can't even keep up with these. I'm tired. Like, I'm exhausted from work. But anyway, y'all, I hope y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.